Deep beneath the shifting sands of Giza, where secrets lay buried for millennia, Dr. Ilara Vance gambled everything. This dig was unauthorized, a whisper in the archaeological community that she alone had chased. They had broken through into a chamber that wasn't on any map, a void untouched by time. The air was thick, heavy with the dust of ages and something else. A static charge, a scent like ozone after a storm. And in the center of the room, it waited. Not gold, not lapis, but a sarcophagus of pure, polished obsidian. It was a block of midnight, swallowing the light from their headlamps. And the script. It wasn't hieroglyphics. These were symbols that twisted and coiled, something alien, something that felt wrong to look at. My heart was a drum against my ribs, each beat echoing the same reckless thought. We have to open it. My team was hesitant, their faces pale in the gloom. I saw the fear in their eyes, the same primal dread that prickled my own skin, but curiosity is a relentless master. I gave the signal. With a groan of ancient stone, the heavy lid began to slide. The moment a crack of darkness appeared, the air pressure dropped. A low hum vibrated through the floor, a sound felt more than heard. Then, a wisp of something. Not smoke, not vapor. Something like heat haze, shimmering with an ethereal violet light, escaped the tomb. It coiled in the air for a moment, then shot towards Jenkins, our youngest geologist. He didn't scream, he just stopped. His eyes went vacant, the light in them extinguished. He stood there, a statue of a man, his face a blank canvas. I called his name. No response. That's when the whispers started. Not in our ears, but inside our heads. Fragmented voices, distorted memories, the laughter of a loved one twisted into a mocking jeer. The chamber walls, solid stone just moments ago, began to dissolve and reform. Sand poured from unseen cracks in the ceiling, creating shifting dunes where there was once a solid floor. The single entrance we had carved was gone, replaced by an endless, shifting labyrinth of sandstone and shadow. We were trapped. The entity, this dream devourer from forgotten lore, wasn't a predator of flesh, but of the soul. It fed on our memories, our hopes, our very essence, leaving behind empty shells. Panic erupted. My team scattered, screaming as the walls closed in, as illusory corridors stretched into infinity. I saw another member of my team, a seasoned historian, simply sit down in the sand, her face crumbling as she forgot how to speak, forgot her own name. I had to focus. The sarcophagus, the script, the answer had to be there. I scrambled back to the obsidian tomb, its surface now glowing faintly with that same sickly purple light. The entity was toying with us, feasting on our terror, but its prison was also its key. I ran my fingers over the alien glyphs, trying to connect them to something, anything I knew. My mind was a blizzard of fading images. My first dig, my graduation, my mother's face, all blurring, losing their edges. The lore spoke of an anchor, something tying the entity to our plane of existence. I looked at the massive sarcophagus lid we'd pushed aside. Carved into its underside was a star chart. But it wasn't the sky I knew. These constellations were alien, ancient beyond comprehension. Yet, one pattern seemed familiar, a twisted echo of Orion. My knowledge of archaeoastronomy kicked in, a desperate spark in the encroaching darkness of my mind. The script on the sarcophagus wasn't a warning, it was an operating manual, a ritual, a sequence of activation based on stellar alignments. We hadn't just opened a tomb, we had interrupted a celestial clock. I had to reverse it. I had to find the anchor point on that star chart and sever the connection. The whispers grew louder, more personal. The entity was targeting me now, sensing my resistance. It showed me illusions of my team, alive and well, begging me to give up and join them in blissful ignorance. It projected an image of the exit, the warm Egyptian sun, just a few steps away. But I could see the shimmering distortion at the edges, the lie in the light. My head throbbed. I couldn't remember what I ate for breakfast. I couldn't remember the name of my university. But I remembered the stars. I pulled out my tablet, its battery life a dwindling resource, and frantically cross-referenced the alien chart with ancient Egyptian sky maps. The entity didn't like that. The sand rose around me like a tide, trying to bury me, to pull me under. Illusory walls slammed down, trying to box me in. I was losing time. Losing myself. My hands shook as I worked. My own memories becoming ghosts. I saw the face of my father. Then it flickered and vanished. The warmth of his last hug faded into a cold void. The entity was in my head, pulling me apart piece by piece. But with the last dregs of my focus, I found it. A single, crucial glyph on the sarcophagus that corresponded to a dark star on the lid's chart. The anchor. This was it. I just needed to activate it. But how? The original ritual would have used specific tools, specific incantations, all lost to time. I looked at my hands, at the survey equipment scattered in the sand. My eyes fell on the portable laser scanner, a tool for digital mapping. It wasn't ancient magic, but it was energy. It was a long shot. A desperate, insane idea. Stumbling through the shifting maze, I made my way to what felt like the heart of the labyrinth. The dream devourer had fully manifested here, no longer a wisp but a swirling vortex of shimmering light and shadow. Within it, I saw faces my team's, and countless others, all trapped in a silent scream as they were consumed. The vortex pulsed, and a wave of mental force hit me. It was going for the core. My most cherished memory. My younger sister, laughing as we ran through a field of wildflowers as children. I felt her face begin to fade, the sound of her laughter turning to static. No, not that. Not her. With a scream of defiance, I raised the laser. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely aim. I traced the final, activating glyph over its carving on the sarcophagus lid. The laser beam, a thin red line of modern tech against ancient cosmic horror, sizzled against the obsidian. For a second, nothing happened. The entity's pressure on my mind intensified, threatening to shatter it completely. Then, the entire star chart on the lid flared with a blinding blue light. A new sound filled the chamber, not a whisper, but a shriek. A silent, psychic scream of pure agony that clawed at the inside of my skull. The vortex of light and faces was pulled violently, unnaturally, back towards the sarcophagus. It was like watching a star collapse, with a deafening, final thud that shook the very foundations of the pyramid. The obsidian lid slammed shut. Silence. The whispers were gone. The shifting walls solidified into plain, dusty stone. The endless sand dunes settled, revealing the scattered, forgotten tools of my team, and their bodies. Hollow, empty, staring at nothing. The illusions had vanished, leaving only the grim reality. I was alone. I touched my head, trying to recall the ordeal, but it was like trying to grasp smoke. There were fragments, shards of terror, the phantom sensation of memories being torn away. I remembered the laser. I remembered a scream. But the details were gone, erased. Traumatized but sane, I stumbled out of the chamber, my mind a patchwork of what it once was. With the last of my strength, I triggered a small collapse, sealing the entrance behind me. The world would never know what we found. Some secrets, I now understood, are meant to stay buried. Some doors should never, ever be opened. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy stories that explore the darker side of history and legend, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. There are more secrets waiting in the dark.